Hello, this is Dr. Marty Harris. Today's lecture, What's Different About Today's Classrooms, was created in collaboration with Dr. Luz-Marie Rincon. In this lecture, we will examine what is different about today's classroom. The classroom you teach in will be different than the classroom you were taught in as a child, preteen, or teenager. Teaching is different. Testing demands are different. Activities are different. But most of all, the diversity represented in the classroom is different. What is diversity? The concept of diversity encompasses acceptance and respect. It means understanding that each individual is unique, and it means recognizing our individual differences. What is diversity? It includes the dimensions of race, ethnicity, culture, linguistics, gender, sexuality, age, abilities, exceptionalities, socioeconomic status, religious beliefs, political beliefs, or other ideologies. What is diversity? It is the exploration of these differences in a safe, positive, and nurturing environment. It is about understanding each other and moving beyond simple tolerance to embracing and celebrating the rich dimensions of diversity within each individual and among us. What is culture? Culture is defined as the shared patterns of behaviors and interactions, cognitive constructs, and effective understanding that are learned through a process of socialization. These shared patterns identify the members of a cultural group, while also distinguishing those of another group. Culture is shared, learned, adaptive, and ever-changing. It includes norms, values, and symbols. Let's talk about norms. Norms refers to behavior. Examples are social interaction, family roles, and loyalty, traditions, customs, and holidays, hygiene and health practices, socialization practices, education, work, play, leisure, patterns of etiquette, and rites of passage. Let's talk about values. Values refers to beliefs. Examples are religion, ethics, status, and prestige. View of natural phenomena, concepts of time, concepts of space, expectations and aspirations, sense of humor, achievement, concepts of love, humor, and beauty. Let's talk about symbols. Symbols refers to evidence. Examples are oral and written language, nonverbal communication, housing and architecture, implements and tools, art, folk art, storytelling, and literature, music and its uses, foods and eating practices, clothing, and personal adornment. What is cultural linguistic diversity? Which comes first, culture or language? Language is a part of culture, and culture is a part of language. The two are inseparable. We cannot continue to treat culture and language as distinct entities, ignoring the possibility that they might influence each other. A term that recognizes and values the interwoven nature of culture and language is cultural linguistic diversity. It's much more than our words, music, and dress. It's how we interpret the world and respond to the world. Dialects and differences. Each language can be placed on a continuum to represent the variance within that language. The center of the continuum represents typical or average, or the so-called, quote, normal, end quote. We term these differences as dialects. This is not unique to the U.S. and can be found in every language in every country. Additionally, regional differences can intertwine with a dialect. Think about the expressions that are unique to your area. Do you say y'all? Or do you say you guys? Jeff Foxworthy celebrates the humor of dialect and regionalism.
Tonight. Because in a lot of parts of the country, people hear me talk, they automatically want to deduct 100 IQ points. Because apparently the Southern accent's not the world's most intelligent sounding accent. And to be honest, none of us would want to hear our brain surgeon say, all right, now what we're going to do is saw the top of your head off, root around in there with a stick and see if we can't find that dadburn clot. He like, no thanks, I'll just die, okay? See, that's why Southern financial advisors have such a tough time. Nobody wants to give their money to somebody that talks this way. Well, the key is you got to diversify with your money. What we'll do, we'll take half of it, put it in a big mayonnaise jar, bury it out in your backyard. The other half we'll take down to the dog track and bet on the one that does his business right before the race starts. And we're not stupid in the South. We have words in the South they don't have in other parts of the country. My brother will use this one, used to could. Can you dance? Well, I used to could. You give me a minute, I might could again. I'll tell you a good Southern word, in there. My Uncle Gene will say that usually when he comes out of the bathroom after Thanksgiving. I wouldn't go in there if I was y'all. And I know you heard this with somebody, or you see somebody you hadn't seen in a while, you go up to them and they go, how's your mom and them? Tolerable. I'll tell you, my granddad will use the word Ewans, which is y'all plus 3. That's what that is. I think my current favorite Southern word is sensuous. Told my old lady, since you was up, get me a beer.
What are the terms and definitions we need to know? There are 9 essential terms that need to become part of your professional vocabulary. Number 1, cultural and linguistically diverse. Acronym CLD. It is the most inclusive term. It is cross-culturally sensitive. It describes students whose culture or language differs from the dominant culture or language. It includes students that are new immigrants or second or third generation Americans. Number 2, English language learners. Acronym ELL or ELL lowercase s. Students whose native language is not English. Students whose English proficiency is not yet developed to the point where they can profit fully from English-only instruction. Number 3, English Second Language, ESL programs. Refers to educational programs for students who are ELLs. Number 4, limited formal schooling, acronym LFS. This refers to ELLs who had little formal schooling in their native language. These students are pre-literate and do not know how to read and write in their native language. Lack of literacy in native language influences the rate of literacy development in the new language. L1 refers to native language, the one spoken at home. L2 refers to second language, typically English. L3 refers to additional language. Number 5, basic interpersonal communication skills, acronym BICS. This refers to skills necessary for basic conversation, may be mastered quite easily and quickly. Assessment of BICS, BICS, is done both first and second language. Number 6, cognitive academic language proficiency, acronym CALP. This refers to skills necessary for success in content area classrooms. Assessment of CALP, CALP, is done in both first and second language. Number 7, fluent English proficiency. FEP is the acronym. Fluent English proficient students, well, this is the goal of instruction. Number 8, limited English proficient, acronym LEP. Limited English proficient students, they are a person who is in the process of acquiring English as an additional language. Term attempts to focus on the development of English proficiency. May place too much emphasis on inadequacies rather than abilities. Frequently used in government documents and relates to the measurement of proficiency. Number 9, culturally and linguistically diverse exceptional learners, acronym CLDE. CLDEs are individuals whose native language is not English, whose English proficiency is not yet developed to the point where they can profit fully from English-only instruction, and who have a disability and are receiving special education. What are the immigration trends in the USA? There are 5 main immigration trends and dynamics in the U.S. 1. High sustained flows. 2. Dispersal of immigrants to non-traditional receiving communities. 3. Growth in the population of CLDs and families whose first language is not English. 4. Rising number of CLDs who are themselves citizens while their parents are undocumented. 5. Increasing incidence of secondary level CLDs. Let's explore the impact of these 5 trends. Trend number 1, high sustained flows. The population of foreign-born individuals in the U.S. has more than tripled. There were 10 million immigrants in 1970 and 32.5 million in 2002. By 2010, immigrant population will make up 13% of the total population. This is still less than the 15% immigrant population in the U.S. during the 1980s, during the height of the European immigration to the U.S. Trend number 2, dispersal of immigrants to non-traditional receiving communities. Immigrants are moving to communities that have not experienced significant influxes of immigrants for almost a century. Recent immigration has moved away from traditionally receiving states such as California, Texas, Florida, to 22 new growth states, most of which are located in the Midwest, Southeast, and Rocky Mountain regions. During the 1990s, the immigrant population in these states grew at a rate that was 3 times faster than that of the nation as a whole. Do these dispersal statistics surprise you? Dispersal trends impact on schools. This trend is important to schools and classrooms for 2 reasons. First, this new population is more recently immigrated, younger, more likely to exhibit limited English skills, and less likely to draw significant income from employment. Second, schools in these new receiving states are less apt to have the necessary infrastructures in place to meet the needs of these families and their school-age children, such as bilingual teachers and paraprofessionals, adult ESL programs, quality second language programming, differentiated assessment instruments, and/or training for general education teachers. Trend 3, growth in the population of CLD students and families whose first language is not English. From 1990 to 2000, this population grew by 52%, from 14.0 to 21.3 million. The 22 growth states received the lion's share of these increases. Trend 4, rising number of CL students who are themselves citizens whose parents are undocumented. The population of undocumented immigrants in the U.S. is estimated to be 9.3 million. However, 3/4 of the children with undocumented parents are themselves U.S. citizens. Trend 5, increasing incidence of secondary level CLD students. Students who are foreign-born and recently immigrated are also more likely to be taught in secondary rather than elementary schools. This is a reversal from the 1970s trend. Increases in number of secondary ELLs with LFS. Do you remember LFS? Limited Formal Schooling. Trend 5 is important to schools and classrooms for 4 reasons. First, students are less likely to demonstrate CALP, C-A-L-P, skills. Second, high schools are less likely than elementary schools to have ESL services. Third, high schools are less likely to have in place the necessary infrastructure as well as differentiated programs, instruction, and assessment practices needed. Fourth, Title III funds are given to elementary programs. What are the changing demographics in today's classrooms? Changing demographics pre-K to 12. Majority of ELLs are U.S.-born children of immigrants. Change in national origins of CLDs. In the 1970s, 60% of CLD students were Canadians or European. In 2000, more CLD students were from Asia, Mexico, and Latin America. In 2000, the population of children from Mexico was the fastest growing population, 15% in 1970 and 38% in 2000. The emerging majority is Hispanic. 35% of Hispanics in the U.S. are under the age of 18. 1 in 6 students enrolled in public schools is of Hispanic origin. High poverty levels among CLDs. CLDs are more likely to live in a home that is at or below the poverty line. Since 2000, the percentage of immigrant families living below the poverty line has risen from 25% to 29%. Do these poverty statistics surprise you? Does poverty influence learning? Do you think today's economy has different statistics for poverty? Languages spoken by CLDs. The languages spoken by CLD students have significance in the classroom and in providing services. Immigration from non-traditional countries has doubled. Number of children from Spanish-dominant home environments is increasing and already represents over 66% of the ELL students. Number of school-aged children from homes where families speak Asian languages is increasing from 0.4 million in 1980 to 1.4 million in 2000. As to the languages spoken in today's classroom, there is great variety. New York City, more than 100 languages. Rochester, Minnesota, 60 different languages. 25% of California students are ELLs. Within that group, 85% are Spanish speakers. The next largest groups are Vietnamese, Filipino, Cantonese, Hmong, Korean, and 51 other languages. Here are some interesting statistics. Hispanic students are more likely to be identified as LEP. CLDs who are of Mexican origin are twice as likely to be identified as LEP than Asian children. The average Hispanic ELL attends a school that is 24% LEP. The average Asian ELL attends a school that is 14% LEP. The average African American student attends schools that have a larger share of LEPs than does his or her Caucasian counterpart. What educational programs serve ELLs? There are 3 main types: bilingual programs, English second language programs, structured English immersion. Bilingual programs, ELLs, are taught in 2 languages throughout the day. ESL programs, the ELLs, attend a pull-out program that addresses development of English proficiency. Measurement of proficiency determines the length of time in the program. SEI, Structured English Immersion, sink or swim programs with no language services or accommodations. ELLs are expected to rapidly acquire English needed for full participation in grade-level classrooms. What's happening for the Texas ELLs? Here are the statistics for ELLs in Texas. There are about 800,000 ELLs in Texas public schools, as per the Public Education Information Management System. The acronym for that is PEIMS. That's one you need to know. ELLs make up over 15% of total student population. Over 100 languages are represented in Texas schools. About 90% of the ELLs are Spanish. Prominent languages other than Spanish: Vietnamese, Urdu, Arabic, and Korean. Here are more statistics for Texas ELL programs. In 2007, over 422,000 ELLs participated in bilingual education programs, including services in ESL. In 2007, nearly 298,000 ELLs were served by ESL programs only. About 10% of the Texas ELLs were served by special education in 2008. What's changed about the readiness of classroom teachers for student diversity? 42% of teachers in the U.S. have at least one ELL in their classroom. Texas figures are probably higher. Only 12.5% of the classroom teachers who instruct ELLs have had 8 or more hours of ELL training. California teachers. 101,000 teachers instruct and assess ELL learners. 16,000 of these teachers report they use the student's native language to offer content-based instruction. Fewer than 11,000 of these teachers have the appropriate professional development and certification to conduct this type of instruction. Use of paraprofessionals. Often paraprofessionals are used to address the needs of ELLs. It's not a bad idea, but it could be done more effectively. Listen to these statistics. 58% of ELLs receive their English and reading instruction from a paraprofessional. Of these students, 21% receive instruction from aides who did not have any education beyond high school. In one survey, only 13 out of 44 states had funds to train paraprofessionals in ELL strategies. The dynamic changes that are happening for the demographics of our country are mirrored in our schools. 5, 10, 15 years into your teaching career, your classroom diversity will be changing. Are you ready? To be ready, you just need to remember, education should be special. The next lecture will focus on understanding second language development. Thanks for listening.